good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. I am not sure where you are watching this from, and thus I am not sure what time it is. But either way, good day. Current events, what's happening in the world, nothing too serious, nothing too heavy. I'm Tom the Turk, and this is Reading the News. Let's get right into it, guys. Okay, we're back on our favorite Dogo News. I hope you guys didn't have any serious pranks played on you this April Fools. Maybe you played some good pranks. Let me know in the comments down below. Did you play a prank? Did you get pranked? Either way, let me know. Okay, so we're just going to peruse the news. You like that? Peruse the news. Dr. Joseph Dituri wants to spend 100 days underwater for science. I'm in. Here we have Dr. Joseph Dituri, who is on a mission to spend 100 days underwater. If successful, the University of South Florida associate professor will set a new record for undersea living. Okay. The record is a nice bonus, but apparently not the main purpose. Doing it for science. He wants to determine if long-term exposure to extreme pressure can help prevent age-related diseases and extend human life. Extreme pressure may help prevent age-related diseases and extend life. That seems counterintuitive to me. He also intends to investigate if breathing in oxygen in such settings can help heal brain trauma. The human body has never been underwater that long, so I will be monitored closely, Dr. Dituri said. This study will examine every way this journey impacts my body, but my null hypothesis is that there will be improvements to my health due to the increased pressure. Wow, so he's actually staying in an undersea lodge in Key Largo, Florida. Whoa. It's like an underwater hotel. Originally built as a marine research center. Pretty cool. 40 lucky. I'm not sure they're that lucky. I'm not sure how lucky they are to be invited for overnight stays at the underwater lodge. Dr. Dituri hopes the field trips will inspire the students to help protect our oceans. I hope so. And if anybody knows about the benefits of extreme pressure on the human body, please let me know. I've not heard of that before. Prehistoric fish fossil reveals oldest known vertebrate brain. Okay. The fossilized skull of a fish next to a penny for scale, with the oldest preserved brain of a vertebrate. The recent discovery of the oldest known vertebrate brain is giving scientists valuable insights into the evolution of the ray-finned fish species. A diverse group comprises about 50% of living vertebrate species. They include everything from trout to salmon and goldfish to seahorses. The preserved brain was found in a 319 million year old skull of an ancient fish called Cococephalus wildii. I like the last name Wildie. I don't know about Cococephalus. Sounds like something undesirable. The fossil was found in a British coal mine over a century ago, but it appeared to offer no valuable information and was soon donated to the Manchester Museum in England. Not so fast. Earlier this year, researchers from the University of Michigan borrowed the skull. They hoped to examine it as part of a larger study on the internal structure of early ray-finned fishes. However, things got exciting when a CT scan of the fossil revealed an unusual blob. The mystery object had all the attributes of a vertebrate brain. Uh-oh, what they'd been looking for. It had all these features, and I said to myself, is this really a brain that I'm looking at? University of Michigan paleontologist Matt Friedman said. So I zoomed in on that region of the skull to make a second, higher resolution scan. And it was very clear that that's exactly what it had to be. Wow. Okay, here we go. an artist's impression of the 319 million year old fish. It just looks like a scary trout, right? Like, I would not want to be wading in the waters with this thing. Friedman and his team published their findings in the journal Nature on February 1, 2023. They believe the skull belonged to a small ray-finned fish about 6 to 8 inches long. Its brain and associated nerves were just about an inch long. The scientists suspect the brain was preserved because the fish got buried under sediments shortly after it died. The sea wildy, thank you, may have snagged the record for the oldest vertebrate brain, but the record for the oldest heart still belongs to a 380 million year old fish called Gogo. Of course. Everybody knows Gogo. Okay, so there you have it. 319 million year old skull. Pretty incredible, guys. Next, this unique Spanish town is built under a giant rock.
Say what?
Okay. All right. That's really sketch, if you ask me. Many Centenil de la Bodegas homes are built inside the rock formations. Inside. Pretty cool. The phrase living under a rock usually means being oblivious to what is happening in the world. But in Setenil, I'm saying it with a Turkish accent. I don't think that that's a recipe for proper pronunciation. Setenil de la Bodegas, the idiom takes on a literal meaning. Many of the Spanish town's 3,000 residents live in homes built inside the rock formations of a narrow gorge of the Rio Trejo River. Look at that. You look out, you look up, it's a rock. The unusual structures are believed to have been inspired by the ancient Arabic tradition of underground cave dwellings to cope with extreme heat. They can be credited to the Moors who founded the town in the 12th century. Kind of reminds me of Cappadocia here in Turkey. Rather than building entire homes, they enlarged natural caves in the gorge and added a few extra walls. The dwellings were inexpensive and kept inhabitants cool during the hot summer months. They were also earthquake resistant and unlikely to catch fire. The rock coverings extend over the street, providing natural shade for passersby. The town's name, Setenil de la Bodegas, reveals its rich history. Setenil is derived from the Latin phrase septem nihil, nihil. It means 7 times nothing. This refers to the Catholic Spanish rulers' 7 attempts to reconquer the territory from the Moors. They succeeded the 7th time. Well, yes, everybody knows that the 7th time is a charm. Bodegas is now commonly used to describe small Hispanic grocery stores in urban areas. Yeah, okay. I know that. However, it initially meant a storehouse for wine. It was added to the town's name by the Christian settlers who introduced vineyards to the region in the 15th century. Most of the vineyards were destroyed by an insect invasion in the 1800s, but the town is still known for its delicious olives and almonds. I love olives. That's not true. I love almonds. I like olives. I'm cool with olives. Olives are fine. Okay, I can't believe we've come this far and we haven't talked about Crash, a one-eyed rescue cat being Cadbury's Easter bunny for 2023. This is right up my alley. I love Easter. I love Easter candy. Who doesn't? And I love cats, especially rescue cats. Crash, a one-eyed rescue cat from Boise, Idaho, has won the 2023 Cadbury Bunny tryouts. The 8-year-old feline will star in an Easter commercial for Cadbury's chocolate eggs and be inducted into the Bunny Tryouts Hall of Fame. He will also receive a cash prize of $5,000 for himself.
Nice.
What are you going to spend it on there, Crash? Another $5,000 will be given to Simply Cats, the rescue center where Crash resides. They plan to use all the funds to help other animals in need. Patty Cutler, the executive director at Simply Cats, stumbled upon Crash in 2018 while heading to work. The cat had been hit by a car and left with a broken jaw and leg. Poor thing. His right eye had also been damaged. Cutler rushed the injured cat to an animal hospital. The doctors were unable to save his eye, but 6 surgeries later, Crash was healthy enough to be brought to Simply Cat. The rescue center had initially intended to put the cat up for adoption, but they fell in love with his outgoing personality and decided to make him an ambassador for Simply Cats. Heck yeah. Get it? Get it, Crash? When Simply Cat staff members heard that the Cadbury's Bunny Tryout Competition was seeking rescue pets, they decided to enter Crash. March 21st, 2023, Cadbury announced that fans nationwide had overwhelmingly voted for the adorable one-eyed cat. Crash is the first cat to win the prestigious contest. Previous winners include Henry, the English Bulldog, and Betty the Frog. Who could forget Betty the Frog? They need to get Crash a little eye patch, don't they? I vote eye patch. Last one, guys. We're talking about March Madness, something that is very near and dear to my heart. One of my favorite sporting events, one of my favorite times of year, the NCAA March Madness basketball tournament. Let's dive in. The NCAA Division I men's and women's basketball championships are the most widely watched collegiate sporting events in the United States. The popular tournaments turn even the most casual basketball watchers into diehard fans of teams with which they have no affiliation. Here's everything you need to know about the championships, popularly known as March Madness. This is finished, by the way. This tournament has finished, and congratulations to the University of Connecticut Huskies for the men's national championship. And the women's, it was the LSU Tigers. The phrase March Madness was first used by a coach to describe a statewide high school basketball tournament in Illinois in the 1930s. In the early 1980s, sports announcer Brent Musburger, famed sports announcer, borrowed the phrase during a men's NCAA championship game, and the name stuck. The women's basketball championships also occur in March, but until recently, the term March Madness only referred to the men's tournament. In 2022, the NCAA finally allowed the women's tournament to use the March Madness phrase and logo. Ta-da! The format. March Madness is a single elimination tournament. This means that if a team loses a game, they are out of the competition. You're out. The championship begins with 68 teams. It used to be 64. 4 of those teams are eliminated in the tournament's opening round, known as the first 4. That's the new part to the tournament. Relatively new. The remaining 64 teams are split into 4 regions of 16 teams each. The teams are then ranked 1 through 16. The first round games pit the top teams in each region against the bottom teams. For example, number 1 seed plays number 16 seed, number 2 seed plays number 15 seed, and so on. Theoretically, in theory, this gives the higher ranked teams the best chance to proceed to the next round. However, every year there are numerous unexpected upsets. Absolutely. This year, 3 of the 4 men's teams competing in the Final 4, that's the last 4 teams remaining, on April 1, 2023, are first-timers. Absolutely. They include Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, and Miami. UConn will be making their 5th appearance, their last being in 2014 when they won their 4th national title. Okay, so now make it 5. The women's Final 4 will see defending champions South Carolina and first-time entrant Virginia Tech. Louisiana State is making their first appearance in 15 years, while Iowa will be there for the first time in 30 years. Fan brackets. Yes, this is a big thing. Most people fill out a bracket. Let's see. Every year, millions of Americans try to guess who will win in each of the 63 games of the NCAA tournament. However, experts estimate that the odds of successfully predicting the outcome of every game is 1 in 9.2 quintillion.
Bruh.
Virtually impossible. Hence, it is not surprising that there has never been a verified perfect bracket. Greg of Columbus, Ohio, has gotten the closest with 49 correct predictions in 2019. Pretty good. Great tournament. This year, my bracket was busted by, I don't know, like it usually is by the time the Sweet 16 came around. Although a couple years ago, I was 1 win away from winning the bracket that I had entered. And this year, I did have Miami going to the Final Four. I originally had UConn going to the Final Four, but then I couldn't pull the trigger. I caved and said, let's switch it with Miami. So I got one Final Four team right, but that just wasn't enough. It's a great tournament, and I hope that you get to experience it someday, whether in person or from home, watching from home. Okay, that's it, guys. That's it for the interesting news. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Tom the Turk, and this has been Reading the News. Popularly, I'm Tom. Prehistoric fish fossil reveals unique New York. Prehistoric fish fossil reveal
Bruh.
the evolution of the ray-finned fish species. The